Hello, welcome to this class. Today I'm going to show you how to program. Even if you're a beginner, you've not ever programmed in your life. I'm going to show you how to write programs, become a good programmer. And the language I'm going to show you is Python. So there are several programming languages. Python is one of them. We have other ones like ASP.NET, C Sharp, Java, C++, Ruby, JavaScript, React, Vue.js, and the rest. So, but I'm going to concentrate. I'll show you how to do yours using the Python programming language. Now, we have other programming language, like I said. So, different programming languages have their strengths where uh, what you can use them to do actually, Unity, for example, is used to develop games. You cannot use Unity to develop web applications. PHP, for example, is used to develop web applications. You can't use it to develop mobile apps, for example. So, but Python, beauty with Python is that it's used for developing almost anything. So it's called a general purpose programming language, okay, that makes it very easy to write programs. It's almost like English language. Okay, so I will show you how to do that. It's a beginner-friendly course, and I'm asking you to subscribe to this channel, or like the videos, call your friends, let everybody benefit from this tutorial. Okay, so let's get started. Now, first and foremost, a program is a set of instructions that a user writes, okay, that a programmer writes to the computer to perform a task. Okay, so I can call a program, I can call it a code, I can also call it software. I may use these words interchangeably. So the first thing we will learn is you create a new file. I'm using Visual Studio Code. So let's just say statement.py. Okay, so uh, how do you write a basic statement like a sentence in Python? So what if I wanted to say welcome to my new world, something like that. So how do I do this? Can I run this code? Let's see how to execute a program. Notice that any program, Python program you define, you call it a name without spaces, without capital letters, and then you have .py, means that computer should understand that it's a Python file and should run it as a Python file. So once you save it like that, you come over here and then execute it by saying Python statement.py. Okay, so we have this error because this is not a program. This is just a text. This should be written in Microsoft Word, not in a computer programming language. So the way we do it is that we use something we call a print statement. A print is just a function in Python that you write print, then you open brackets and you close. It's like mirror. Anything inside these brackets, like this, you put it. So whatever you write here will be printed out. So let's copy this out and then we write it in here like this. So if we save that and run this program again, so you see, welcome to my world. Okay, we can print more lines. We can write another line and say print Python programming is sweet. And then we try to run that. So it's the same thing. Okay, so even if we print hello world, okay, it is printing. So even if they are capitalized, the way you type it, that's the way to print. Okay. So this is pretty much about how you get started writing programs. So challenge yourself, write some programs, make some statements. Okay. Yeah, but there's something I need to show you about this also. What if you wanted to make this uh into what if you wanted to make this a longer text? Let me remove these other ones. That's will flow into many lines without problems. Okay, what happens is if you print this long line, it will be printed as one long line. If you needed it to break into a new line, you use your backslash and n. Okay, so the program will print it into two lines. Everywhere you put backslash and n, it will break it into the next line. Okay, so we have welcome to in my new world, a longer text, blah, 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 into three different lines. So these are pretty much you get to print some things. Now, the next thing I will show you is how you can escape some characters, okay? How you can escape some characters. So say escaping, so we call this escape.py. Say we wanted to print something like this. Someone asked me to, someone told me to, someone told me to say, so let's just say this, we print this is called escape.py. So escape, so Python, we should have typed that Python escape.py. Okay, so someone told me to say, okay, what if you wanted to say, somebody told me to say, um, uh, Jesus is Lord, and then you want to put Jesus is Lord inside quotes like this, Jesus is Lord, and I said it. Okay, so now you see that this quote, okay, we have quotes in between these original quotes. So let's try to run the program. We notice that there is a problem with these other quotes. So the way we solve this problem is by escaping the inner quotes that we have, by escaping these inner quotes. So the way we do it is that the easier way to do it is you open a double quote so that we will have a difference here. Now, this was a problem. Why we had the error is that the program opens with a quote. The program assumes that once we get to another quote, that should be the end of that uh, statement. So, but here you have here, and then you have a continuation. So from here is a bit confusing to the program. So the way we solve this is by having a different quote here. So this will print. So there's no problem. Somebody told me to say Jesus is Lord, and I said it. That's fine. Okay. But the best approach to this would not be using that, because how about when you have other quotes like double quotes? So the same error will show up, okay, because it has the same double quotes and then it should end here, but it's continuing. So the computer does not understand. So the thing is, we don't need to be using this, changing the quotes that we have already. Continue using the quotes you have, but then when you get to that point, you use an escape character. So once you have this backslash before the inner quotes and another backslash here, you have escaped the quote. You are basically telling the computer to ignore the other quotes that look similar with the quote that it's checking, to ignore it. So you use backslash to ignore, to escape the character. Then you won't have the problem. So it prints without issues. So this is basically how to escape characters in Python. Okay, this is basically how to escape characters in Python. So another thing I would like to show you is what I call comment. Okay, So comments.py. Now, in every programming languages, we have uh, comments. So a comment is a way of, first of all, you can use a comment to document your program. So a comment is also a way of telling the program or telling the computer to um, ignore certain text, to ignore certain programs inside your program. So let me just explain what I'm doing. So what if I started a program and then I want to let people know that this is the first version, but it's incomplete. It's incomplete. Then I want to start writing my program, print hello world, for instance. So, so we have py comments. Notice that I use Python or I use py is the same thing. Comment.py. Okay, so uh, we have this syntax error because this is just plain text. So the way we do it is that add we can add an hash before this comment. So when we add an hash, the computer understands that any line that it sees hash, it ignores this. So let's try to print that again. So it prints hello world and ignores this. Now this information is therefore placed for whoever reads this code to understand or to read some information about this code without altering this code. So that is how you comment, you document your code, because at the end of the day, people work in teams now. Programmers work in teams. So you need to write code and make documents for them such that any other person who is programming on your code can remember, can know, can understand your code and understand the information you provided for your code. It's also useful to you. You can forget some parts of the code and then the comments make you to remember. Then another point is that there are times you want to keep this print hello world and then print something else. Maybe, okay, and then print something else. So print something else here. So you print something, but you still have a copy of this. You can always open this, you can always bring this back, but you are keeping a copy of it just to reserve that copy for some purposes. So comments are very useful in all programming languages. As a good programmer, you are encouraged to make use of comments. Okay, so that's the end of that part. Let's take another topic. Now, the next topic we'll talk about is data types py. So our name is data types.py. Data types simply means types of data. Very simple, types of data. So what are the types of data? What are the types of raw information you have as a programmer? So we have different types. We have a string type. We have a string type, like a string is just a block of text, something like that. Okay, just a simple text, something like that. So um that's alphabets and the rest as a text. Okay, so we also have integers. So integers are pretty much whole numbers, like 43 is an integer, 98 is an integer, however big, however small. 0 is an integer. Okay, so 638 is an integer. So we have other ones like float. Now a float is also a number, but number with decimal points, such as 43.98 is a float. Okay, so we also have booleans. So they are either true or false. They are particularly useful in programs where you try to check if something is true or false. For example, is it raining or not raining? Something like that. So these are very common data types These are very common data types that you get to use, and then I wanted to introduce you to these data types. So let's use our comment and comment this. Now, a quick recap. I failed to mention something back in our comments. You notice that there are sometimes you need a longer line. So there are two types of comments basically. This is a single line comment, but we have a multiple line comment with 3 quotes like this. So these can run into multiple lines and even more. Okay, so when you see that your comments are in many lines, there's no point doing this for all the lines. Okay, what if you had 100 lines? So you keep doing that? No, instead you just open this and close. So that's, we have two kinds of comments. There's a single line comment and there's a multiple line comment. 3 quotes, 3 quotes. So I remember that because I needed to comment this so that we don't have it like an error. So we have this commented now. Okay, so that's pretty much about data types. Now, this takes us to something I love very well, and it's called variables. Now, a variable is a container. Okay, let's create it first. So variables.py. Now, a variable is a container that holds data. Okay, this data that it holds can be manipulated, can be changed, used, and then instead of having to create them all over again. So in your calculator, for example, we have a key called memory plus. So that key is used to store data like 50, for instance. And then you see the person operating the calculator, maybe probably doing um, 20 plus m plus. Okay, so basically what it's doing is 20 plus whatever was stored in this m plus, which is the memory, the variable. So in programming, you do the same thing. So once you do this and makes equal to, you have something like 70. And then once, as far as this is still in the memory, if you do 50 minus, maybe you do something like m plus minus m plus minus 5, for instance, the answer will give you 45 because it still considers this 50 and put it here. It's just like saying 50 minus 5 and then you have 45, just like saying 20 plus 50 and it gives you 70. So variables work the similar way. So imagine somebody running to where you are and then saying the number is 100, the number is 100. Then before you could ask him what number, he runs away. And then another person comes with a price, says, if you can tell me a number and then add that number with 5 and tell me the answer. And then you quickly remember that somebody told you the number 100. And then what you say is 105 because the variable was 100 and then you've added 5 to it. And then the person surprisingly gives you the gift because somehow you got the variable, you stored the variable, and you're able to add 5 to that variable. So that's how variables are very sweet in programming. And every programming language uses variable. Programmers use variable every day in all the programs. So it's very simple to use. In Python programming, you define variable, the variable name, the variable name, then the assignment operator, then you have the value of the variable. So this is like the syntax of variables. Okay, so you need to know variable names can be anything. Okay, can just be anything. It can be something like this, can be first name, whatever. So for example, we have variable name and we have the value is Jonathan. Okay, so that's a variable name. And then this is an operator, an assignment operator. This is not equal to in programming. This is an assignment operator. I'll talk about operators later on. So we have variable name is assigned the value of Jonathan, and this Jonathan is of a string type. Remember when we discussed types, data types, so it's of a string type. You can also have variables like that is um of int type. Okay, they are integers. Okay, so variables, once you declare variables like that, let's go ahead and see if we run it, what will happen. So py variables, uh py variables, let me make that come up a bit. Py variables dot py. So it runs no errors, but it's not printing out anything because we didn't want it. We didn't put anything for it to print out. So the way we do it is we can have another line and say print name. We are now printing the variable. Okay. So when you print the variable, now it prints Jonathan. Okay. If you print age, it prints 73. Okay, so that's how you do it. That's how you do it. So a brief discussion, I want to discuss how you name your variables. You don't name your variables like this. Name equal to Ubon. You don't do that. You don't do that. Okay. Variable names do not start with, let me comment this, wrong. No capital letters. Starts with capital letters. Okay, so variable names don't start with capital letters. So we have another one that is wrong. Something like first name. Let me just use, yeah, first name equal to Wilson. This is also wrong. Okay, wrong. So variable names do not start with or do not have space. Does not have space in between. In between. So you don't name your variables with space like this. This is wrong. Okay, another way, you don't start variables with this places. No, you don't do this. Okay, you don't do it. You don't do this. So this is wrong because does not start with numbers. Okay, however, so let me comment this and probably take them down. However, you can make adjustment to this. So however, we can use first name like this. First name, this is camel case. Camel case, it starts with small letter, then every other first name, something else, every other thing else, you have capital in between equal to something. Fine. So this is okay. This is okay. This is okay. This is camel case. Variable naming. Okay. This is very fine. So you can also say first name, whatever is fine. Okay. John is fine. This is okay. Okay. So another way you can do it is by using underscore first name. Okay. Philip. Okay, this is fine. Okay, another way is even by using name and then saying 4554. It's still fine as far as this number is not at the beginning of the variable name. You understand? So this is still okay. So this is how you name variables, okay? This is pretty much how you name variables and how you get to play with variables, okay? So say we wanted to print that, let me comment this as well. So I'm using multiple line comments for it. So let me take them out of this place and put them below. So say we wanted to print Jonathan is 73. So first of all, we'll print Jonathan. That's the name variable. And then we print another thing, maybe with string. You notice the quotes now. So this will work fine. So we say Jonathan is 73, but this is not the right way of doing it. This is not the right approach you will take to do this. Okay. So in the next topic, I'll show you how to um, use concatenation in order to be able to join strings and make them appear on one line. Okay. So that takes us to that next class now. So we call this file concatenation.py. Okay, concatenation is a way of joining strings, joining things. Imagine we have man and we have woman before marriage, okay? And then during marriage, what happens is that they join two of them. So in programming is a similar way, okay? It's a similar way. So say um we have a friend and the friend's name is Pius. We have another friend two, and then we say the other friend is Abigail. Okay. Um, so we can concatenate them, okay, by having a print statement, okay. And the way we do it in other languages, we can have friend here, other programming languages, you can have friend there, and then we have a plus sign, okay, to go out of that variable, and then we have a space, and then we have another plus sign to enter another variable, and then we have friend too. So this will print Pius Abigail. We needed to change that to concatenation, concatenation dot py. Okay, so we have Pius Abigail, but our purpose for this program is to write Pius is a friend, okay, is Abigail's friend, something like that. Abigail's friend, okay. So we can just write is a friend or is a friend to Abigail, something like that. So Pius is a friend to Abigail. So we use concatenation to do that. Okay, but this is concatenation in other languages like JavaScript, by PHP, etc. Okay, but the way we use concatenation in Python is easier. Python provides a better way of using concatenation, using the formatting concatenation. So that one looks like this. Then you open a quote and close a quote. So for every variable you have, you put it inside braces. For every other text, you just type it. Okay. So these are the syntax looks like. So let's see how to implement this. So we have a print statement, and then let's check this out. I think I cleared everything. Okay, I've not saved that. So let me save that and run it again. So nothing appears good. So now we have a print. So we have this F and then quotes, and then we have friend one or friend is a friend or is friends with is friends with. So we have another one just like this, friend two. Okay, we can have full stop or other text. I am sure about this, something like that with full stop. So if we print this now, we will have our program. So Pius is friends with Abigail. I am sure about this. So we use this F, okay? It's pretty much like removing this, and for every variable you need. So it's pretty much like just typing F and then quotes and then closing the quotes. Then every variable between you use curly braces, okay? So this is how you can write concatenation in Python, and it's very easy, it's very sweet. So as we proceed, we'll be seeing complex concatenation, okay, in Python. All right. So I think I can proceed with another topic. So briefly, I would like to mention some common operators.py, common operators that we have now. Operators are just symbols that are used to compare or do one or two computations, task in a program. Okay, for example, this is an operator plus sign. You add uh, maybe 2 plus 5 will give you 7 because of this operator. Okay, we have minus, we have divided by. So we have equal to. This is how we write equal to in Python, okay, and some other languages. So we have equal to. This is the equal sign. So this is equal to, okay. So this is equal to, whereas this is assignment operator. Okay, so we have greater than, we have less than, we have greater or equal to, we have uh, not or not like this. We have or, we have and. Okay, you can also use this for and. You use this also for or, I think. Does this work in Python? I guess. Okay, and then you can use this. I came from a PHP background, so mostly those things work as well. So we have these basic operators that we'll be using. So I just wanted to quickly introduce you to it. So for it not to look like an error, let's just comment this page before we leave. Okay, so this is basically um, uh, beautiful things we can do with Python, and these are most of the topics we can easily discuss with Python. Now, there is something else I would like to discuss. Okay, so let me quickly discuss something that is really good. Um, I'll discuss decision statements. Now, there is something called decision in programming as a whole. Now, every programmer makes decisions. Every programming has decision statements. Now, the thing with this decision is like a decision helps a program to make some things conditional statements. Some people call it conditional statements. Okay, conditional statement. So, so if, for example, you were writing a program that checks a small mobile app that checks if it is raining, okay, to tell the user to um, change his dressing code for that day. If it's sunny, if it's very hot, it should also change. So that way, you'll be able, the user would be able to decide whether or not to put on a thick jacket or to put on a singlet to just go out. So The way we do it is by using what we call if. In other programming languages, when we open if, we have a condition here, and then we have this, and then we probably have do something if this condition is true, okay? And else you have something like this, don't do something. Okay, so something like this. Okay, so if a particular condition is true, then do something. If it is false, that is else, then don't do something. So the way we do this in Python is that you say if, and then you don't open this bracket. You don't need to do that. So you say if condition, okay, and then you use colon, and then you bring it, and then notice the indentation. Python cares so much about indentation and is very strict with it. So if you don't indent, you will see errors. So you make sure that it indents. Even if you were here, use your tab key on the keyboard and get here. One indentation is okay in Python. So if that, then do something. Okay, and then you go back to that place and say else, don't do something. Okay, so this is it. So that's the way we write it. Okay, so we will check. First of all, we will get the get weather. We will get the weather, the current weather now. Say it is raining. Okay, it is raining. The weather is raining. So we will now check. So if get weather, okay, you now do that. If get weather is equal to, remember this is an equal operator. This is a sign. So we don't need assign here, we need equal to. Okay. So if weather is rainy, okay, if weather is rainy, we will tell the person to put on a thick jacket. So we might just print, okay, print, put on a thick jacket. Okay. Else, if it's not raining, tell the person uh put on a light singlet. Okay, so this is the way we do it. So the program you run, okay, just take a second and check what will the program print. The get weather, it is currently raining. It is currently raining. It is currently raining. Okay, so what do you think will the app will tell the user? It will tell the user to put on a thick jacket. Let's check that. Okay, so we didn't do this. This is py decision dot py. Okay, so put on a thick jacket. So you've made that decision. Put on a thick jacket. You get it now. So if peradventure it stops raining and it's now sunny, okay, and then if you run this again, it will tell you put on a light singlet based on the weather. It's sunny, so you need a light singlet. So this is basically how you make simple decisions with Python, with programming in general. So let me comment this and let's work on something more interesting. Okay. So the other thing we need to work on is what if you were your boss, let me say your boss asked you to hire staff with BSc qualification, who is staff with BSc who is younger than younger than 23. Okay. This is typically what happens in my own country. Um, with all the delays and strike and everything, delay in everything, they expect to hire students or to hire graduates that are younger than 23, but let's just program this. It's always really funny. So how do you get to do this? So we get the input of the person, we get the input of the person that has submitted. So let's say applicant's name is John Doe. Okay, so does he have BSc? Applicant's qualification he has BSc. Good. But applicant's age um, is 24. So what happens? What happens? So how do we make this decision to know if we are to hire this staff or not? So what we do is we check if qualification equal to BSc and age is younger than, remember I said younger than, okay? Younger than 23. Okay, so what happens? We need a column here. So what happens? Hire. You just let me comment that place. Hire the candidate, something like that. Okay. Else, don't hire. Okay. So for the candidate, if he qualifies like that with the age, so what you do is maybe let's just print congratulations. You have the job, something like that. Okay, and then if the person's age is greater than that, maybe you just say print sorry, you were not accepted. Okay, so this is pretty much how you do this, and let's see what gets printed out. So we need to decision.py. So sorry, you were not accepted. Why? Because my age is greater than 24, greater than 23. So what if I had 23 years of age? What do you think would be the answer? Remember, younger than. So, and then this is less than. So I think it will still be sorry you were not accepted. Okay. But my age, if my age is 22 or lower, so we say congratulations, you have the job. Okay, even if my age is younger than the supplied age, but I have certificates. Okay, I don't still have the job. So this is how you use decisions, you use conditions, you use decision statements in programming to make certain decisions and make your program to run as expected to solve some problems. Okay, so that is all for now for this particular topic. From time to time, we'll come back to this. We'll get more advanced with decision statements. Remember to subscribe to this channel. If you are watching on YouTube, remember to subscribe. There will be more videos on programming, different programming languages, including React, Django, Flask, and the rest, Kiwi, and the rest. So subscribe, then like this video if it's useful to you. Just write something, drop a comment. We'll be so happy to see what you've said about it. Okay, so that takes us to another topic. Very interesting topic, functions.py. Now, functions in programming, a function is a block of code that does a specific task. And then the beauty with functions is that you declare a function, and then when you are ready, you can call that function to perform a task. So let's get started. Say I have a function. In other programming languages, functions are declared like this. Function name with something like this, and then like this, and then implementation inside here. Okay, so but in Python, you don't do this. In Python, it's quite easy. You use the word def, which means define a function, so to speak. So the function name will be say hello, for instance, and then we need this, okay, and then you indent, and then you do stuff here. Okay, all right. So once you are through with the stuff, if you want to call the function, all you need to do is you do say hello. You just call it by name with the brackets, finish, and that's all. So let's just see, nothing will be printed out, but let's just see that this page, there's no error at all. Why do I have an error? Okay, it's because of this. Okay, so let's just try to run functions.py. So okay, that's the error. Okay, so I think the error is it because of okay, pass. We will talk more about this pass keyword, but basically what it does is when something is empty, you can always write pass so that the program will ignore it and continue to run that. So functions, it prints nothing. Okay, so we are going to do stuff here now. So the thing we want to do is just to print uh, hello, welcome to my channel. Okay, so if we print that and then run this again, so it prints hello, welcome to my channel. So this is how you can write function here. This is just the function. Okay, and then you call the function here. You call the function here. Okay, so that's that for functions. So the way I will solidify your knowledge on functions that most times while using functions, I prefer it's okay to use print, but there are times you don't need functions to just outrightly print data for you until when you are ready, so to speak. So there's something called return statement in Python in programming, in which you get to return something from the function. You've returned it actually, but it's not printed out. Okay, you've concluded with it, and then you've sent it out, but you've not printed it out. So if we run this again, so if we run, let me carry this up. If we run this again, you notice that yes, it's running, but nothing is printed out. So the way you do it is more proficient to come over here and then to print this. Okay, you print this here. Okay, so you have your function has now been printed. Hello, welcome to my channel, right? Okay, the reason this is really robust, really beautiful to use is that there are a couple of times you may need to add some text or some manipulations to function before you print them. Say you want to say, uh, um, hi there, welcome to my channel, blah, blah, blah. And then something, let's just think of something to do. Okay, first of all, I may um, uh, have a function. No, I may have a variable like channel, channel name. Okay, and I say Uncle Life programming. Okay, so that's the channel name. So I may want to say, uh, hello, welcome to my channel, Uncle Life Programming. Okay, I may even like to say my name. Okay, and then I print my name here, Wem Akpabot. Okay, so I may like to say Wem Akpabot says, hello, welcome to my channel. OncoLive programming. So let's just see how to mix that up. So you may like to say something like F here, and then you open this. Remember our F string? So we have something like this, okay? And just like variables, function name should use this. So if we now say um, um, welcome to my channel, and then I bring in channel name, welcome to my channel, and I bring in the channel name, and I now say by host, by host, and then I now bring in my name by host, Uwem Akpabut. So this way, to be able to print the entire sentence as if it was just a statement. So, hello, welcome to my channel, OncoLive Programming by host Uwem Akpabut. So this way, you are able to return, say hello, without printing it, so that you leverage this command to be able to add some stuff to print it and make it more efficient. So that's how you write good functions, play with functions, you manipulate functions. So this is where I will stop for today for this particular class. I know it was really interesting and you learned a lot of stuff. I had to put in so many uh, topics into one and a lot of effort to make sure that I explained everything very well. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and then subscribe to this channel so that you have the latest updates on videos on several programming languages and implementation. You become what you want to become, a software engineer, something, and then it will be good for your career. So go back, you are free to pause this video, rewind, go through it, understand it, and you'll see that you soon become a very good and proficient programmer. Okay, so thank you so much for joining. Hope to see you in my next tutorial. Thank you.